I've flown 36 times across the Atlantic on 19 different airlines, and I'm on a quest to see if Delta can be number one in economy on their best and latest plane on one of their most prestigious routes. I'll review the good, the bad, and the horrible. I'll end with how much I paid, as well as a preview to my dream flight ahead. You won't want to miss it. I'm YoungMin. I solo travel to 127 countries, all while working a full-time office job by maximizing my vacations and points. And now I'm finally on YouTube to take you along for the journey. Welcome to the adventure.
Prepare for landing.
Today, I'm on my way to start my dream flight, but first, I'll have to fly from LAX to Paris-CDG, a 10.5-hour daytime flight. Now, I could have flown to London, and I've flown twice on Delta going to Greece, but I wanted this chance to fly them at their supposed best, which is on their latest and flagship aircraft on their most prestigious European route from LA, which is Paris. Yep, keep in mind, Delta does not fly LA to London, and CDG is my least favorite airport in Europe, so Delta better be on their A game today. Also, I'm curious what your favorite and least favorite airports in Europe are. Let me know in the comments. Delta has this image of being the top in the US, and no, I'm not a Sky Club fanboy, but the expectations are high. We'll put them to the test to see if they can be the best way to fly across the Atlantic in economy. Out of the 36 transatlantic flights I've taken, I already have my number one, but we'll see how this flight ranks. Today we start our journey with the finest of Los Angeles, the LA Metro. Arriving into the new LAX Metro station, we see no homeless yet, and until the automatic people mover finally opens, we go down and take the free bus to the airport. Today we're headed to Terminal 2/3, which they revamped during COVID. It's my first time here since pre-corona, and well done Delta. Inside the terminal, the sad state of Priority Pass continues, with no lounge and just a gameway, which is pretty cool for just 1 hour. So no lounge today, we head to the gate, and today we're boarding at gate 32A. Boarding started on time, but took way longer than it should because the flight attendant was just standing there and watching a family struggle with their bags in the overhead bin, and another was taking selfies with the family, and when she finished, she turns around and gave me that classic Delta grandma charm. Today's A350-900 has 3 classes featuring the flagship Delta 1 Premium Economy and 226 Economy seats, split into 2 sections in a 3-3-3 configuration, with just 4 bathrooms for the entire economy class. 17.4 inches of width, not so bueno. 31 inches of pitch, just standard, nothing special. My seat today will be in the aft section, 45D. And now, first impressions of the seat. I'm in an aisle seat as always for bathroom reasons. First up, we have your aux and USB ports beneath the IFE screen, hollow seat back for literature storage, and a bi-folding tray table that slides in and out. For amenities, we've got some thin blanket that we'll need later for this cold cabin, and a super squishy and plush pillow. The recline was just standard, on top of the pitch, which was very mid, so this is pretty weak overall. Many airlines out there with way better recline. For legroom, it's very unspectacular as you can see. Pro tip, bring your own slippers. And lastly, we have a universal charging port. The current safety video is a 100-year special showcasing all of their uniforms over the decades. This was top quality, 5 stars. Briefly going over the aircraft today, I previously flew Delta long haul on their Dinosaur 777-200 and their latest A330-900neo in Delta 1, which is a nice treat. But it's their A350 that's their flagship aircraft with all the latest and greatest in modern technology and comfort. Checking out the bathrooms, they were large with so much elbow room. I found them possibly the largest in economy I've ever seen, to the point where the aisle corridor becomes super tight. So this is me in the aisle between the 2 bathrooms. This ain't American size approved. This will literally be a safety hazard during an emergency. And by the way, that toilet is nasty. Shortly after takeoff, we had our first meal service. The main was some sort of fusion Cajun Mexican fried rice with chicken, and honestly it tasted like plastic. Like, my expectations are already low, and this is a joke. 2 thumbs down. Now, let's take a look at today's entertainment and tech. There's a solid variety of media choices, and the touch feature was pretty responsive to light touches, so I don't have to tap 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 and make my neighbor in front miserable. And now for the all-important screen swivel test. I wish people reviewed this more, but the person in front can recline all they want.
Great success!
We do have earbuds on this flight, but definitely bring your own. Just know that there are backups in case you forget yours. Now this is where Delta shines. Free Wi-Fi on this flight, and the speed was not bad. Was able to do some work, download emails, send messages, 2 thumbs up. After the meal service, they shut off the cabin lights, so I pounded the melatonin, and this is where the horrible began. I reclined the seat to sleep, but there was some lady from Morocco with her granddaughter behind me, and she shoved the seat forward and I jolted awake. I turned around and she said, "Don't recline." I looked at her funny because the recline is already measly, and I said, "Everyone around is already reclining to sleep," so I said, "No, I'm sorry, I have to sleep." The next 6 hours, I kid you not, this woman got off from her seat 16 times, each time pulling my seat to get up and back in. Also, her and her kid would drop the tray table and slam it back up to shut, all from the depths of her pettiness. I didn't want to fight because I know some people are just raised without class and they don't know any better, so it just goes to show that the airline, the crew, the airport, they can do everything right, but it takes just one person to ruin your trip, so let's not be that person. So after the nightmare ordeal, I gave up on sleeping for the final pre-arrival second meal. We've got a calzone with just egg and cheese, no tomato sauce detected. It was plain and super boring. The yogurt made up for it, and I'm lactose intolerant. Alright, before I get into it, how did I book this? I used 37,000 Air France miles and $33 in fees. Cash price for this one-way flight during peak summer, a whopping $1,700. And now let's get into the final score. Ground experience. Shiny new airport terminal with no priority pass lounge access. Favorable departure and arrival time, but boarding is where it got a little shaky. Seat and hard product. The seat was completely mid. IFE was great with lots of choices. Wi-Fi had decent speeds, and it was free. And best of all, you've got the latest and greatest with the A350. Dining? You heard me. That was terrible. Not just one meal, but the second being some sort of hot pocket that was way below expectations. Crew, this is where it gets tricky. Culturally, I'm not used to the American hip grandma style of service. I'm used to Middle Eastern and Asian carriers who are more service oriented, and also the hard truth. Passengers are getting larger, but if the flight attendants are even larger, barraging their way through the aisle, bumping into everyone's shoulder and waking them up while they're sleeping, and then to not even look to acknowledge and apologize. Yeah, they might be friendly and attentive, but overall, the entire flight was just discomfort. And lastly, arrival experience, something that doesn't get talked about much. How easy and comfortable is your whole arrival experience? Well, for starters at CDG, you're looking at 25 average minutes of runway taxi time. Then God knows how long it's going to take for you to arrive and transfer to your next Schengen destination. But if you're transiting in the same terminal internationally, you might be in luck. So Delta arriving into Air France's hub, their SkyTeam partner, you have access to Air France's expansive SkyTeam transit network, something that Virgin Atlantic at London doesn't offer much. So lots of transfer options, but challenging airport experience overall. So that leaves us with the final score of 3.4 thumbs. So what's the verdict? Is this the best way to fly across the Atlantic in economy? Final answer, no. My number one is still Virgin Atlantic. In their latest A350-1000, flying from LAX to London Heathrow with a world-class ambiance and cool and hip crew, this was one of the best long-haul economy flights for me ever. So that was a great test, but sorry Delta, I'll fly with Virgin again next time. And finally, next up, our dream flight that took 2 years in the making. Can this beat Qatar, Etihad, Emirates, Singapore, ANA first class? We'll see. Thanks for watching. This is my first YouTube video ever, so subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the skies.